time now to review the headlines on today's newspapers.
And we'll begin with this day newspaper. We always say newspaper of records, right? The lead story there, again, economy slides into recession, second in 5 years, with a lot of riders there. Experts list measures for recovery. Rwanda calls for stimulus, increased investment. Bring your sharpest brains into a war cabinet to get the best, says Utomi. And Professor Uche Waleke says, I see quick V-shaped recovery as effect of COVID-19 recedes. GDP contracted for second consecutive quarter by 3.62% in quarter 3. And the picture there is the wedding of the governor of Kaduna, El Rufai's son. And right there we see the Senate President, Ahmad Lawan, and also the governor and, the bride and groom as well. Well, congratulations, I would say,
to them,
right?
Yeah.
Congratulations
Such a
to them.
party, yeah.
And then there's the story above the masthead, which I love. Nigerian doctor Onyema Ogwagu in COVID-19 vaccine breakthrough. This is how we see our Nigerians doing well. This doctor is part of the whole breakthrough for the COVID-19 race that we're seeing. And also remember that we had, I believe, a couple of months ago, there was this other doctor who was, with the breakthrough remdesivir vaccine, that doctors or another Nigerian doing excellently well. And then the writer there, Patience to Jonathan, that's the former president of Nigeria. She says, I'll marry you again. I guess this is in celebration to his 63rd birthday. And you can see that story on page 5 of this day newspaper. A lot to read there, Kachi.
Absolutely.
Really. Yes.
And then when you're done with the politics and the business and you want to get some style, just go to the middle page and pick up a cover of this, the copy of this day's style for you there. And on that cover, we have John Pepe Clark, the prominent Nigerian poet and playwright, who recently passed away this year. And of course, it's all about the life and times of John Pepe Clark. There are some memorable quotes from a couple of his poems, actually, and just, things that you would want to understand about who he was and his impact. There's also tributes from the president, from the governor of Edo State, from, Chimamanda Adichie. It's a really, really lovely cover. Also, remember Arise Fashion Week 2020, 30 under 30, 5th to the 12th of December 2020, and the top 3 winners receiving up to $500,000. Details on lots of things you're going to enjoy. The most expensive alcohol in the world. I mean, how to sports the red lip and not look, weird. Anyway, all of that you can find in today's edition of This Day's Style.
All right, should we move over to the Sunday Tribune?
We shall.
All right, a lot to unpack there. The lead story, again, another resounding headline, reactions as Nigeria's economy suffers another recession. This is the Sunday Tribune. The Sunday Tribune, if you can pull that up. And the writers there, NBC confirms country is in second meltdown in 3 years. It will be short-lived, says finance professor, senior advocate of Nigeria, Olisa Bakoba, Yusuf Profer Solutions as well. We can find more on that on page 4 of the Sunday Tribune. And then below that story there, on the Lekki shootings. This was at the judicial panel yesterday, Kachi. The Brigadier General Taiwo says, we carried live bullets. Army General tells panel why we lied about our presence. I mean, I'm really looking forward to reading that.
What page is that on? Actually,
that's on
essential.
Page 4, really. I mean, I don't know. First, I also saw that he confirmed that he didn't know that they said it was fake news on Twitter as well. So I don't know where this back and forth is coming from. They need to, have their stories straight at this point. And above the masthead there, why we can't suspend strike now, says ASU. State chapters await updates, directives from national leadership. ASU not exempted from IPs, says Ngige. And I believe that's on and I can't see that page at this point. But I mean, it's really interesting because I was reading somewhere that, you know, that Ngige had exempted ASU from the eyepiece system. So I guess this is an update to that story on the Sunday Tribune. Another story there, bandits ambush policemen, kill activists in Kaduna. This is a really sad story, Kachi, on page 7 of the Sunday Tribune.
Just like what we're talking about earlier today.
Yes, this is what we're talking about, the trust and the breakdown of law and order in the aftermath of the protests. And, you know, these people are still targeting policemen, really hard to digest. And then another story there, 2023, why presidency should remain in the North, says Kwande. All right, I guess that's about all we can take on the Sunday Tribune.
All right, now let's get into the Sunday Punch. The big headline there says, Nigeria suffers worst recession in 36 years.
Another
that
headline,
is according to the World Bank. As NBS report is saying that the economy shrank by 3.62% in Q3. You can find that on page 2. The rising debt profile, inflation, unemployment, worsen economic woes. Experts blame COVID-19 and SARS violence. Others, you know, for the crisis. Interesting. Another headline there is the fact that Bajabiamila's security guard shot newspaper vendor thrice. That is what the family is coming out to say. This is a follow-up after yesterday we learned that, first of all, the person who did the shooting was a member of the DSS. That's one, not the police. Second, there's an investigation into that incident that actually happened. And third, the family coming out to say that they want justice. That it wasn't a stray bullet for them. It wasn't a mistake, and they want justice for them. So they're also coming out to say that this guard shot the newspaper vendor 3 times. And then the general now coming out to speak with regards to the Lekki shootings, that the soldiers took live bullets to the Lekki toll gate for self-defense. This is coming on the back of we fired blank bullets. But then that would have been a great time to slot this information in, but we're just getting
exactly.
it. You know, that would have been a very good time to say, oh yeah, we fired blank bullets, but by the way...
But Kachi, also, did you ask the question? So you did take live bullets for self-defense.
Yeah.
Then what happened? Did it magically fall out of their cartridge?
Well, you know,
like, what is the conversation there?
Thank you. But, you know, it would be weird to respond like that because they already said they fired blank bullets.
Yeah.
So they can't now come out and say, well, eventually, after firing blank bullets, it turned out we had to use...
Also had to use...
You know,
so it has to be a continuation of the lies, right? I mean, because that's how we see it.
No, really, because
everyone...
It's like the more information that comes out, the more they have something to share. This would have been perfect the moment they spoke on the blank bullets. There's nothing that stopped them from saying, oh yeah, we had blank bullets. However, there were live bullets just for self-defense. Why is this just coming out?
Yeah, I mean, yes, the army should carry, live ammunition because apparently they also said that they weren't really going to the Lekki toll gate. That's another issue. That they were going somewhere else, Alausa, and then they went through the toll gate and saw people gathering, and that's how they decided to disperse the crowd.
So let me get this.
Yeah.
That now contradicts the situation of we were invited. Because if you were invited, then how do you say you were not going there? You were going, so you were invited, but you decided not to go, and decided to take a detour to allow.
They claimed they were invited to calm the peace down, not to go to the Lekki toll gate. So it's just really to bring back law and order with all of the...
So a peaceful protest where people sat on the floor with singing national anthem?
Well, not to the peaceful protest, but because, you know, there was a curfew in place because of the breakdown of law
and order. So basically to enforce the curfew?
Yes, to enforce the curfew. Well, which, I mean, I don't know how it's their place to do that in the first place.
Exactly.
You know...
And a curfew, by the way, that had been extended from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Let's not get into this else. I think we can spend the rest of the show analyzing.
No, we can. We really can, because it is the same thing on other newspapers.
Yeah.
The same story.
And it's what everyone is really talking about. It's just there's so many. I will not be surprised if any other finding comes out that is not known. We're going to get another response.
Yes.
We're going to get something that we probably should have heard before, but we didn't.
Right.
You know?
You're right on that. If we pull up the Nation on the Lekki shooting as well, the headline there also says soldiers carried live and blank bullets, says this General Taiwo. And also forensic experts and ballisticians to examine bullets. Okay, what are they examining in the bullets? Either they are live or they are blank, or why,
or whether they were from Serbia.
They're either live or they're blank bullets. And then that's another important rider there is CCTV shows military sent 7 trucks to toll gates. So does that contradict whether or not they were going to the toll gate or they were going through the toll gate? That's another that topic that needs to be discussed.
Yeah, and you were saying?
Yes, and then Sanwo-Olu was misinformed. No one died at toll gate. Again, they are still claiming that no one died, even though the governor said he did go around and, that same night when the shooting happened.
You know what is weird? The government comes out to say that we should wait for the investigation before we say what happened at the toll gate.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's almost as if they are exempted from this investigation, and they're the only ones who have the right to tell us what happened without waiting for the results of that investigation to come out. Because it's the same thing on the Sunday Telegraph, saying the army saying that Sanwo-Olu was misinformed about the deaths. But how do you know that if you're telling the entire world to await the result of the judicial panel? So how can you categorize? Is there like a conclusion to this investigation that we are not aware of?
Very good point, Kachi.
Exactly.
Yes.
How can you say that?
Yes.
So the thing is, if you're going to say we should wait, how about you also wait before you tell us things like this? Because when they say things like this, then it's not like...
So they have carried their own investigation.
They have.
They
So
have
can
decided
we see that? They have decided that there was a misinformation.
Yes.
So can we see that investigation? So we can also share the same point of view, possibly, because otherwise this is just...
And all of this is just coming on the back of that damning CNN report that showed 2 people died. Also there
and the
is
one that was missing as well.
Yes.
The young lady that said her brother, 18-year-old, she still doesn't know where he is.
Yes. And this conversation about that flag on that night, that is everywhere on social media, that bloodied
People's
national
display
flag.
pictures.
But, where did the blood come from? That picture was from the protest night. Is that
unreal.
Like an edited picture?
Listen, if what happened, and if the videos that have come out from the Lekki shooting were Photoshopped, that has to be an Oscar-nominated documentary. I'm sorry.
What technology is out there to actually edit a live footage? A live footage. You know that DJ Switch
was live footage.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Where is that technology?
That's what I'm saying. If they were able to discover it, please, I need to know. Like, I'm sure the film directors will want to know.
I want to edit my live feed. I want to be... No, it really is so incredible you say that this footage that is a live feed is doctored or fake. How does that work? It doesn't work. Are you pulling anything on Sunday Telegraph?
I think we can just quickly run through what else is there. Still on the 2023 presidency on the Sunday Telegraph, Mbazulike Ezefe seek North and West support, says Igbo politicians should reach out to the stakeholders from other zones to say, is calling for Ndibu Political Business Leaders Summit. The fact that TBN debit banks 226 billion naira for CRR default. CCB, that's the Code of Conduct Bureau, is set to charge Magu for failing to declare accounts. So I think that's much we can take. The Akuzusa's black cell for 3 months. A guy is coming out to talk about his story on the Sunday Telegraph. It's on page 8. You can check that out. Anyway, I think that's all we can do on the papers today.